Once again, Energy's Us Productions presents Pittsburgh Poltergeiser Prattle. Today's topic, Quantum Pondering, Attenual Access of Newly Unified Fields about the Galaxy. In action. Hello, thank you. Welcome back. Thanks for watching. That light out of my eyes. Today's topic, let's start this over. Title of the show. Feel free to copy or share anything I teach or record. Please consider anything I teach. It helps enable the 100th monkey effect as it's pondered. If you have any questions, see my past videos. They're all quite short. I'm not so much on YouTube or BitChute anymore. I'm on Rumble and Telegram. And back to today's title, Quantum Pondering, Attenual or DNA Access of Newly Unified Fields. In other words, it might sound fancy, but your DNA, as we mentioned before, is an antenna, and you can just sit here grounded. Sometimes having a magnet handy helps stabilize your field, and use your antenna to pick up what I analyzed or perceived as 24 different channels that can rotate, so you can access information using the capacitance gap called the corpus callosum, the coliseum of the corpses, to charge the pond of the galaxy and gain information as I do. And I'm nothing special. Where Milky Way galactic ponding, that was the quantum pondering we talked about earlier. When is now, magnetic energy with plasma mixed, but also me is a good example of just someone that learned from observation and simple experiments. And why? Because the magnetics and the plasma potential right now is so great, since the velocity of the magnetosphere diminished to where we get constant communication rather than plasma packets across the galaxy, as Tesla mentioned. And who will be quantum pondering? Anyone with a positive heart, and you have to work on that. Remember, you were 96% polluted with assorted and many negative thought patterns through the plasma field that you may have and quite probably were unaware of. And how you lose your ego that was actually built upon you, as I mentioned before, over time, indoctrinated in, programmed in. Television is a good example of programming in how you feel about scenarios. And you have to examine all your thoughts. We went over that. Everyone you have, everyone you've had that may seem significant. Learn by observing as a child does and formulate your theories that way. And go within, as Charlie Ward says, to look at your heart. And there you'll find the answers. That's your tuning section, as in this toroidal model. This would be your heart field in the center. That's where everything's compacted and encased, we shall say. Excuse me. And then temporarily non-bias your field and open your mind. If you open your mind all the time to this, it'll make you crazy if you try to live a normal life at the same time. So do it temporarily, and then, when you have time and when the feeling's right. In my case, it was cyclical, and so certain times of years it would come through, certain times of the year it would come through stronger and more fluently, and different groups seem to speak through with different sciences, perspectives, vocabularies, etc. And it's very convincing when you have to keep looking up words that come out of your mouth. And you also see great visions and answers instantly. And then you'll have to accept, as I'm kind of speaking of, the empathic self that you are, that you didn't know, perhaps, and the population around you. And that's everything. That's creatures as well as humans, off-worlders, what you tune into or believe in. And also you have to discern, especially if you're older like me, you've been indoctrinated, you've been taught a lot of things that don't make sense. And a lot of things that make sense that people said, nah, that's not right. So you have to review all the knowledge you have, and that'll come up automatically as you review these things in your mind. And then ground yourself. U plus 23DA is the terminology. This is the symbol. Even Bible in Psalm 19, I forget verse, says his circuit goes to end of heaven or something like that. And that was your part of the circuitry of that which is between the earth's surface and heaven. Okay, we're still on how. Plasma's all clear. There's not all that rivers of flowing magnetism messing up your communication line. And the magnetics of your heart, you use that. Oh, you use the plasma. Oh, you ground yourself. You use the plasma to communicate through. You use the magnetics of your heart to program and communicate through that plasma, along with cymatics, which is noise, thought patterns. Singing is a good one. And then, as I mentioned, this is the capacitance gap between your corpus callosum that you can charge and thus program your connecting field of plasma in the galaxy. And what? This will make you outsane. And that's kind of a joke to reference how it kind of makes you crazy if you do it all the time and try to live a normal life. It's difficult. And what? A divine data circuit install. You're just a way of saying getting used to the divine data circuit. I threw away the chart. It smelled bad. Anyway, that shows how the sun, moon, earth, everything, all the cymatics and sympathetics and magnetics work together to make a complete circuit now that we're not wrapped in flowing magnetism anymore. TMI shield, too much information shield, and tongues is what else will happen. In other words, if you use this to identify and pinpoint criminals, as they can see through you to find criminality and guide you. They won't tell you the criminal's crimes, etc. They won't tell you too much horrid thing, too many horrid or gory things, whoever they are, the field itself, so that you won't freak out or overreact. And then the tongues is not just like that when I do a healing on the sun and yawn, that kind of Indian language comes out, but it's not just that. It also means that you'll use the analogies that people understand because you're co-divinating with their antennual DNA strand as well. And then reincarnations versus geistings. A specific reincarnation may not still be a living being as you perceive it. It may just be a geisting. You're collecting the elements of that person's data when they were in that vessel. You can consider that on your own. What else is Curlian energies? Good example is they cut down multiple conifers in my neighborhood. I stood on the stump of each one as soon as possible and did healings downward. And they were most distinct in their energetic Curlian energies. And you'll feel that too. That's similar to the dead. Yeah, they took a picture of a leaf on a plant and then removed the leaf and used certain exposure. I forget the word, starts with an H. And they took a picture of the energy that was left over, like a ghost. And plasmatic coalescence, multimedia, and that's two-way. I mentioned they can see through you and vice versa. Plasmatic sympathy, coalescence, and I can go through picture, photo, like the Indians used to say. Results, symptoms are healing, body, mind, soul, spirit, past, present, future, space, instant, infinite data, and visual. You'll see it in your head. New and more than 2D. New vocabulary and right to it. You'll go open to a book or go to a computer page, Bible, etc. You'll get unheard knowledge that you'll have to ponder and consider. Food, health, and inventions, you'll have that. Sorry, I have to rush. Creature communications. In other words, you'll co-divinate with animals too, like if you want to find blueberries or something growing locally. And I think I ran out of time. A quick thank you to Geometrix.org, the Watergate window cleaners that told me how they got data, Cyrus, Aladdin, Ming for inspiration and leadership in the future. Il Donato, you know who you are. Pittsburgh Dad, we took care of PennDOT. They didn't repent. And Julie Green Ministries, boy, you're right on. Your eyes and hands are powerful. Thank you for listening. We all love you. Bye.